Good morning, children. So, here we are starting with a new chapter, that is Bank Reconciliation Statement. So, this chapter is both theoretical and practical. So, let us begin. First of all, let us understand what is the meaning of the word Bank Reconciliation Statement. So, bank reconciliation statement is the statement prepared by the customer. Very important. Who prepares the bank reconciliation statement? Bank reconciliation statement is prepared by the customer. And one more thing, children, bank reconciliation statement is also better known as BRS. So, this BRS is prepared by the customer to reconcile, that means to harmonize, to recorrect, to reconcile the differences in the balance of cash book and passbook. We all know that when we prepare the books of accounts, we also prepare a cash book. Basically, it is a book which records all the cash transactions, from where the cash is coming in and where the cash is going out. So, in the cash book, when we are talking about the chapter BRS, we are talking about the bank column of the cash book. That means that column of cash book which records the payment of cash or receipt of cash with the bank. Means how much money we have deposited in our bank account and how much money we have used from the bank account. So, what bank entries we pass is recorded in cash book bank column, and the same entries are recorded in the passbook by the bank. How much we are depositing into the bank we record at our place in the cash book bank column, and the same how much money we have deposited in our account, the same amount is also recorded by the bank, but bank records it in our passbook. So when we both are recording the same amount, same transaction, so it means that obviously the balance which is shown by the cash book in the bank and also the balance which is shown by the passbook, they both should be equal. No doubt cash book is prepared by the customer and passbook is prepared by the bank, but ultimately they are recording the same transaction. So therefore the balances of these two books should be the same. But sometimes it happens that when we check, the balances of these two books are not the same or not the equal. It might be I have committed some mistake in the cash book, or the bank has committed some mistake in the passbook due to any reason, or there is a delay in the payment but I have recorded it beforehand or the bank has recorded it beforehand. So there are a number of reasons for the differences in the balance of cash book and passbook, which we will study a little later. So in order to harmonize or reconcile these differences, to recorrect, to rectify these differences, the customer prepares a statement which is known as bank reconciliation statement or BRS. So this is the meaning of BRS. Now the definition. So the definition discussed here is given by Patil. So Mr. Patil says that bank reconciliation statement is a statement prepared mainly to reconcile the difference between the bank balance shown by the cash book and the bank passbook. That means it is prepared to reconcile the differences in the bank balance as shown by the cash book and the passbook. Now the causes of differences in the cash book and passbook balance. Why does the difference arise? So the differences may arise on account of the following reasons. The first reason is differences caused by time gap in recording the transactions. So when there is delay in recording the transactions, or the transactions have been recorded beforehand, so that can also be a reason of a difference in the passbook and cash book balance. For example, if I have made a payment through check of rupees 5,000, so what I have done is I have deducted 5,000 in my cash book bank column on the assumption that since I have issued the check, the other person will withdraw it from the check and the balance will be reduced from my bank. But the day when I am comparing the balances, the receiver of the check has still not collected the payment. So since the receiver has not collected the payment from the check, definitely my bank will not reduce or will not deduct that much amount. So there is a delay, there is a time gap in recording the transactions, because I have recorded the transactions as soon as I have issued the check, but the bank will be recording this transaction in the passbook when the receiver of the check, or the payee we can say, takes the payment. So this can be the difference, or basically the cause of difference. Then the second cause, differences caused by errors committed in recording the transactions, means there might be some mistake in recording the transactions. For example, if I have deposited the check in my bank for rupees 500, that means I have deposited 500 rupees in my bank balance. So instead of adding 500, by mistake I have added 5000 rupees, but bank has correctly entered it, bank has correctly added 500 only, but I have by mistake added 5000. So there will be a difference of 4500 because of the errors so committed. So these are the causes of differences in the passbook and the cash book balance. So these were the categories, main categories. Now we will discuss the various transactions or the reasons which come into these two main categories. So let us begin with the first category, that is the differences caused by time gap in recording transactions. So the reasons for time gap are as follows. Number 1, checks issued but not yet presented for payment in the bank. The example which I was giving you. For example, I have made the payment to somebody through check today, and on this assumption that he will take the payment as soon as I have given the check, I have deducted the amount from my cash book bank balance. But when I am comparing the balances till that date, the person has yet not collected the payment. That means that amount will not be deducted from my bank account till that date. So this will cause a difference in the passbook and the cash book balance. Then second point, checks paid into bank for collection but not yet credited by the bank. That means somebody has paid me through check, I have deposited that check into the bank, I have sent the bank the check to collect the amount from it, and on the assumption that bank will collect the amount on behalf, I have added the amount in my cash book bank column. But till the date of comparison, the bank has still not credited or collected the amount. So that means the bank has not added. There is a delay in the time of recording the transactions. So again it will cause a difference in the passbook and the cash book balance. Then the third point, checks paid into the bank for collection but dishonored by the bank. For example, if I have deposited the check into the bank so that bank can collect it on my behalf, and I have added the amount in the cash book bank column on the assumption that bank will collect the payment. But later on what has happened, that the check was dishonored. That means it was not honored, it got bounced due to any reason. The sign was not matching, the recipient, the balance was not there, any reason may be there, but that check was dishonored by the bank. That means bank could not collect the payment through that check and it has bounced it. So in that case again the bank will not add, but I had added. So in that case there will be a difference in the cash book and the passbook balance. The fourth point, interest allowed by the bank. Whenever we deposit money in our account, or whenever the balance is there in our account, banks they give us some amount of interest on our deposit. The exact date of interest we do not know. It is depending upon the bank, at the end of the month or mid of the month or the quarter or the yearly, whatever the conditions may be. So whenever the bank gives us or allows us interest, it adds us that amount of interest in our passbook, in our bank account, which we don't know. So definitely this means that bank has recorded the interest as soon as it has given, but since we do not know, so we have not recorded. So again there will be a difference in the cash book and passbook balance. The fifth point, bank interest charged by the bank on overdraft. Overdraft is a kind of a loan. When we basically this facility is mainly given to the current account holders. In such a case what happens is that an account holder is allowed to withdraw in excess than the amount there it is in his deposit. For example, if I am having 50,000 in my bank account and I am in the need of 70,000, and if I am having the facility of overdraft, so what I can do is, instead of taking out only 50,000, I can withdraw 70,000. So the excess of 20,000 which I have withdrawn, that will be considered as bank overdraft. So it is a kind of a short term loan or a short term advance given by the bank to the customer, for which the bank charges some amount of interest, and the bank deducts this interest from our bank account, which we are not aware of, we have not recorded by mistake or without knowing it. So it will again cause a difference in the balance of cash book and passbook. Then the sixth point, bank charges and commission charged by the bank. Again, these two are expenses for the customer which are deducted by the bank. Bank charges basically is the service charge of the bank for maintaining the account, for the safety, for everything, all the passbook, everything. So it is kind of a service charge charged by the bank, deducted from our account. And commission is, sometimes commission is also charged by the bank when bank has performed some activities on our behalf. So these two expenses are deducted by the bank from our account. Maybe we are not aware when the bank has deducted, so after checking in the passbook we found out, which we have not recorded. So again it will be a cause of differences in the cash book and the passbook balance. Then the seventh point, direct deposit by customers into the bank. Sometimes it happens that if I have sold goods to somebody on credit, I have not received the payment as of now. What the customer can do is, if the customer is having my bank account detail or account number, it might happen that the customer might directly deposit the amount into my bank account, which the bank will add in my passbook. But since I am not aware it is the direct deposit by the customer, so again there will be a difference in the cash book and the passbook balance. Then point number 8, interest and dividend collected by the bank. Just like investment, it may be happening that we have invested in shares or debentures or anything on which we will be getting the return, which will be deposited. If I have linked the bank account, it will be deposited in my bank account. It will be received or collected by the bank and it will be added in my bank account, which obviously we are not aware of the exact date. It will be received as soon as the company pays. So after considering or going through the passbook, we found out that this was also the scene. So again it will be a cause of differences in the cash book and the passbook balance. Then the last cause can be direct payment made by the bank on behalf of the customers. So it can happen that we can direct our bank or we can instruct our bank that, listen bank, so and so person, let's say Mr. X, Mr. Y, we have purchased goods from him. What you can do is, you have to make the payment on our behalf after 2 months. So maybe we forgot or we don't remember the date, and the bank has made the payment on our behalf directly without our knowledge, on our instruction. So it will be deducted from our bank account, and since we were not knowing, so we have not recorded in the cash book bank column. So again it will be a cause of differences in the cash book and passbook balance. So this was the A category. Now the B category, differences caused by errors committed in recording the transactions. Such errors may be of two types. So in the A category, basically we found out that the transactions were recorded at one place and the other place it was not recorded. For example, if it was recorded in the cash book, it was not recorded in the passbook. If it was recorded in the passbook, it was not recorded in the cash book, and that's why there was a difference in the cash book and passbook balance. But now the differences is caused due to the errors committed in recording the transactions. Maybe the transactions are recorded at both the places, but there is some kind of error, maybe regarding the amount, regarding the principal, anything. So these errors are classified into two types. The first type of error is errors committed in recording transactions by the firm, or basically we can say error committed by the customer. So the error can be checks issued to a creditor but omitted to be recorded in the cash book. That means we have issued the check, we have made the payment to somebody through check, and we have omitted, that means we have forgotten to record it in the cash book. We have not deducted it from the cash book by mistake, we just forgot. But that person will definitely collect the payment. through that check, and it will be deducted from our passbook. So that means it is not deducted in the cash book. Why? Because we have omitted to record it, but it has been deducted from the passbook since the person has collected the payment. So it will cause a difference in the balances of cash book and passbook. Then the B point, checks deposited into the bank but omitted to be recorded into the cash book. The same point in opposite sense, that in this case we have deposited the check in the bank. That means we have received the check from somewhere and we have given the check to the bank so that bank can clear it and put the money in our account, but we have forgotten to record it in the cash book. So bank will definitely clear it and will add it in our account, but we forgot to record. So again, passbook balance will be showing more and cash book will be showing less. There will be a difference. Then the third is error in totaling or balancing the bank column of the cash book. It can be that we have committed the mistake in totaling or balancing. The total was coming to 5,000. We have written let's say 4,900. So again there will be a difference of 100 rupees. So these three are the errors committed by the customer or the firm in the cash book. The second error is the errors committed in recording the transactions by the bank. It may be that bank by mistake, instead of crediting 4,000, the bank has credited 400. Instead of debiting 5,000, the bank has debited 50,000. Maybe the bank has deducted interest twice, and so on. So errors committed by bank. So these were the causes of differences in the cash book and the passbook balance. Now let us understand the need and importance of bank reconciliation statement. Why is it necessary to reconcile the differences in the cash book and the passbook balance? So as you can see, a bank reconciliation statement locates the errors or omissions that may have been committed either on the part of the customer or the bank. The errors so detected can be rectified accordingly. It is very important to prepare a bank reconciliation statement. These points can be written as need, importance, or even the objectives. Now, why it is important? It is important to prepare a BRS so that why there is a differences in the balance of cash book and passbook, the errors can be detected first of all, that where the mistakes have been committed either by the bank or the customer, whatsoever the case may be, and so that the detected errors can also be rectified. Then the second need is its periodic preparation reduces the chances of embezzlement by the staff of the firm or even that of the bank. Embezzlement means when the money is taken away by the staff, or it is basically hidden by the staff, etc. Kind of theft, or the staff has misrepresented, manipulated the account so that the staff can steal the amount from the business. That is kind of embezzlement. Then the periodic preparation, the regular preparation of BRS reduces the chances of embezzlement. Why? Because a close check can be kept on where the cash is going and where the cash is coming in from. So there will be a proper control over the inflows and outflows of cash, which will help the firm in reducing the risk of embezzlement. Then the third point, it helps in revealing the unnecessary delay in the collection of checks by the bank. So it basically reveals that why there is a delay in collection of checks or clearance of checks by the bank. And the fourth point, it helps in keeping a track of checks which have been sent to the bank for collection. Preparation of BRS helps to keep an eye whether the checks which are being deposited in the bank for being credited or being cleared, whether they are getting cleared or not. So it is important to be prepared to keep an eye on that. Now the procedure of preparing the bank reconciliation statement. A bank reconciliation statement can be prepared by taking the balance either as per cash book or as per passbook as a starting point. Now, since we have to prepare this statement to reconcile the differences in the balance of cash book and passbook, so therefore we have to start the preparation of BRS from the balance of one book. Either it can be cash book or the passbook. So we have to start a BRS as per the balance as per cash book or passbook, any one book. And one very important point, children, you must remember is the balance of the book with which we are starting the BRS, we can make amendments, we can make the changes only and only in that book, so as to reconcile the balance. If we are starting the BRS with the balance as per cash book, so even if the mistake is committed in the passbook, we cannot do any change in the passbook balance. That is a very important point. Then point 2, if the statement is started with the balance as per bank column of the cash book, the answer arrived at in the end will be the balance as per passbook. Then another important point, that the balance of the book with which you are starting, the ending balance of the BRS will be the balance as per the opposite book. That means if you are starting with the passbook balance, the closing balance will be as per cash book. If you are starting the BRS as per cash book, then the closing balance will be as per passbook. Alternatively, if the statement is started with the balance as per passbook, the answer arrived at in the end will be the balance as per cash book, which we were discussing just now. So these are the 3 important points which you need to keep in mind. And one very important point which I told you, that the balance of the book with which you are starting the BRS, you can make changes only and only in that book for making the correction and for reconciling the differences, even if the mistake is committed in another book. Now, let us proceed further. So, the balance as per cash book may be either debit or credit, and similarly, the balance as per passbook may also be either debit or credit. So, the book balance with which you have to start with preparing the BRS will be given in the question. The balance can be either the debit balance as per cash book, or it can be the credit balance as per cash book. Similarly, it can be the debit balance as per passbook or the credit balance as per passbook, depending upon the question or the information mentioned in the question. Now, point number 1, DR stands for debit. So, if there is a debit balance of cash book given in the question, so debit balance of cash book means favorable balance, positive balance, and a credit balance of cash book means the unfavorable balance, the negative balance. So unfavorable balance of cash book indicates the amount which has been withdrawn in excess of the deposits, the bank overdraft which we were saying. So it is also called as overdraft balance as per cash book. So if the question says credit balance as per cash book, or the question says overdraft balance as per cash book, it means the same. That means it is showing the negative balance. It is showing the balance which you have withdrawn in excess from your bank account. But in case of passbook, it is just the opposite. Credit balance of passbook is treated as favorable, the positive balance, and debit balance as per passbook is treated as the unfavorable balance, or we can say it indicates the amount which has been withdrawn in excess of the deposits. It is also called overdraft balance as per passbook. So that means that debit balance of cash book favorable, credit balance of passbook favorable. Credit balance of cash book overdraft or unfavorable and or negative balance, and debit balance as per passbook unfavorable or negative or overdraft balance. So this is the rule which you need to remember by heart. Why? So as to start the question. How will it help? We'll be discussing in detail when we discuss the format. Moving further, rules related to a bank reconciliation statement. Now number 1, anything credited in cash book. Now remember one thing, credit balance of cash book is unfavorable. So anything credited in cash book reduces its balance. On the other hand, anything debited, because debit balance of cash book is favorable, so anything debited in the cash book increases it. So if the question says 50 rupees credited in cash book, that means 50 rupees is deducted from cash book. If the question says 50 rupees debited in the cash book, that means 50 rupees has been added to cash book. Point number 2, anything credited in the passbook. Now credit balance of passbook is a favorable balance. So anything credited in the passbook increases its balance. So if the question says 40 rupees has been credited in the passbook for interest, so this 40 rupees credited means 40 rupees has been added in the passbook. On the other hand, anything debited in the passbook. Now, debit balance of passbook is unfavorable. So anything debited in the passbook reduces it. So if the question says 70 rupees debited in passbook for bank charges, so debited means this 70 rupees is deducted from passbook. Very important point these are. Point number 3, a bank reconciliation statement starts with the balance of either cash book or passbook given in the question, that we have already done. Point number 4, a bank reconciliation statement at the end will show the balance as per cash book if it is started with the passbook. That also we have done, that it will start with the balance of one book, either cash book or passbook, and at the end it will show the balance of the opposite book. If it is started with the cash book, at the end it will show the balance as per cash book. On the other hand, it will show the balance as per passbook at the end if it is started with the cash book balance. So these were the rules related to BRS. And one very important rule which I explained you just a little bit before, that the balance of the book which is given in the question, any addition, subtraction, any changes in order to reconcile the differences in the balance of both the cash book and passbook can be done only and only in the book the balance of which is given, even if the mistake has been committed in the other book. What does it mean? It will be made very clear when we do the practical question. Now the notes. The first note is, if cash book balance is given in the question at the start, but it is not clearly stated that this balance is debit or credit, it will be treated as a debit balance. That means, as we discussed, there can be a debit balance of cash book or passbook, or there can be a credit balance of cash book or passbook. So if there is a debit balance of cash book, it is favorable, positive balance. If it is a credit balance of cash book, then it is unfavorable or overdraft balance. Now the note number 1 says that if the cash book balance is given in the question at the start, but whether it is debited or credited, it is not given. If the question says 5,000 rupees as the balance of cash book, whether it is debit or credit, it is not given in the question, then in that case, in that absence of information, you will assume it to be a debit balance. Point number 2, if passbook balance is given in the question at the start, but it is not clearly stated that this balance is debit or credit, it will be treated as a credit balance. So in case of cash book, in the absence of any information, the balance will be treated as a debit balance, but in case of passbook, in the absence of any information, the balance will be treated as a credit balance. That means, in a nutshell, we can summarize that in the absence of any information, we will assume the balance to be a favorable one. So cash book's credit balance is unfavorable, but debit is favorable, and passbook's credit balance is favorable. Now point number 3, balance as per ledger account means the balance as per cash book. So even if the question says balance as per cash account, that means balance as per cash book. Then point number 4, balance as per bank book or balance as per bank statement means the balance as per passbook. So these are the other names for the balance as per cash book and balance as per passbook. So balance as per cash book can also be written as balance as per cash account, and balance as per passbook can also be written as balance as per bank book or balance as per bank statement. So I hope the points discussed in this video so far is clear to you children. Just go through it and revise them, because these will be very important while solving the practical question. Now this is the assignment. Based on this part, you have to answer the following questions in your register. Question number 1, what is bank reconciliation statement and who prepares it? So what is a bank reconciliation statement? Bank reconciliation statement is a statement which is prepared to reconcile the differences in the cash book and passbook balance. Then who prepares it? BRS or bank reconciliation statement is prepared by the customer. Then question number 2, define bank reconciliation statement. You can give the definition given by Patil, that according to Patil, bank reconciliation statement is a statement prepared mainly to reconcile the differences between bank balance shown by the cash book and bank passbook. Question number 3, list down any 5 causes of differences in the cash book and passbook balance by time gap in recording the transaction. So we have discussed 9 causes. You have to write any 5. It can be interest allowed by the bank, interest charged by the bank on overdraft, checks paid into the bank for collection but dishonored by the bank, direct deposit by customer into the bank, interest and dividend collected by the bank, direct payment made by the bank on behalf of the customers, checks paid into bank for collection but not yet credited by the bank, and so on. Any 5 you can write. Question number 4. List down any 3 causes of differences in the cash book and passbook balance caused by errors committed in recording transactions. So you have to give any 3. So you can write checks issued to a creditor but omitted to be recorded in the cash book, then errors committed in recording transactions by the bank, checks deposited into the bank but omitted to be recorded in the cash book, then errors in totaling or balancing the bank column of the cash book, and so on. Any 3 you can write. Then question number 5, state any 2 uses of preparing a bank reconciliation statement. So uses can also be written as need and importance. So we have discussed 4 points. You have to write any 2 points. You can write the point, for example, its periodic preparation reduces the chances of embezzlement by the staff of the firm or even that of the bank. Then it helps in revealing the unnecessary delay in collection of checks by the bank. Then it helps in keeping a track of checks which have been sent to the bank for collection, or it locates the errors or omissions that may have been committed either on the part of the customer or the bank, and the errors so detected can be rectified accordingly. So this was question number 5. Now the next part is the fill in the blanks. Anything dash in the cash book reduces its balance. That means anything credited in the cash book reduces its balance. On the other hand, anything dash in the cash book increases it. That means anything debited in the cash book increases it. Then number 2, anything dash in the passbook increases its balance. That means anything credited in the passbook increases its balance. Then on the other hand, anything dash in the passbook reduces it. So that means anything debited in the passbook reduces it. Then point number 3, a bank reconciliation statement at the end will show the balance as per dash if it started with the passbook balance. So the answer will be that a bank reconciliation statement at the end will show the balance as per cash book if it is started with the passbook balance. On the other hand, it will show the balance as per dash at the end if it started with the cash book balance. So the answer will be, on the other hand, it will show the balance as per passbook if it is started with the cash book balance. Then point number 4, debit balance as per dash book is a favorable balance. So debit balance as per cash book is a favorable balance, whereas the debit balance as per dash book is an overdraft balance. That means debit balance as per passbook is an overdraft balance. Then next point, credit balance as per dash book. It is just a continuation of point number 4. Credit balance as per dash book is a favorable balance. So credit balance as per passbook is a favorable balance, whereas credit balance as per dash book is an overdraft balance. So that means credit balance as per cash book is an overdraft balance. So these are just same points. Now you have to complete these questions in your copies, children. I hope the topics discussed here and the homework is clear to you. Just go through the video once again and revise it and complete all the written work in your register. Thank you, children. Take care.